Hi, I'm Laura Stachel here with Hal Aronson and Brent Moellenberg from We Care Solar. And at the time of our 15 plus anniversary, we thought it'd be wonderful to just share some of our memories with you about how the Solar Suitcase was created. Hal?
Hi. I'm Laura Stachel. I'd like to share some memories.
So back in 2008, I was doing research in Nigeria in a hospital that did not have reliable electricity, and I was really upset because I was actually doing a cesarean section, the lights went out, and no one even reacted. And I started writing letters back to you, and maybe you can talk about our very, very first prototype and how that all came about.
Well, it started with a piece of plywood, and I just built a little demonstration unit, kind of what I used to teach with. And it's got a circuit breakers on it, it's got a charge controller, it's got a little marine load center, and then it's got some more standard plugs.
I think, as I recall, I had wanted you to come and demonstrate solar electricity to my colleagues, and you were like, no way. So you kind of made that for me to try and be simple enough.
That's right. I was a little scared of Africa at that time. Little did I know that I would learn not to be afraid, and now I'm really happy that I'm still here. So this was designed to keep the lights on all night long and to get fully charged every day. So it's designed to charge up in 3 hours and keep the lights on for 12.
Okay. So we were making these in our backyard. We'd have parties to try and put together equipment. And then over time, we brought in more volunteers, including Brent. Brent, were you part of the organization when we started moving to acrylic? So can you tell us about what you noticed when you came to join us and what you wanted to sort of do with the design of this to make it work better for the field?
Yeah, so like Laura said, everyone was being made individually, so no two were quite the same. And so we really started to look at how could we make these repeatable, all the same, so that there was a consistency across them. So we started looking at the external boxes here, making those all the same, putting them in the same order on a board. Moved from a unit like that to something that could be more easily just snapping components at a manufacturer, using more specific components to DC electronics, and using plugs that were dedicated to DC. And
let me just add one more thing, which is that, as you mentioned at the very beginning, we really just had the concept of what parts we wanted, but there was no standardization of anything we did. And then we got a phone call in about 2010 that the World Health Organization asked us to make 20 solar suitcases for Liberia. Do you remember what we said? We've never made 20 of
that
anything.
sounds like a lot.
So, and then we got a grant from the MacArthur Foundation, and that grant was really given to us to enable us to design something that could be manufactured. And so, Brent, what were you thinking about as you were designing for manufacturability?
Again, I think it was something that you could quickly snap parts into, something that made the wiring much easier on the backside, so that it was just easier to for someone to manufacture and quickly put these together. I think we started about that same time to think about the serviceability out in the field, like how could we make it so that if they had a problem, they could easily troubleshoot, easily replace a part, and then just really tried to find ways to make it more robust and more cheaper to manufacture.
And then we did some things like, if you're an electrician, you'd understand circuit breaker boxes. But if you're a midwife using it in the field, we tried to separate the on-off button from the turning the lights on and off. So we made this kind of daytime and this nighttime use.
I remember
So
that because I actually was in Nigeria. So you guys would do the modifications, then I'd bring them into the field and see how people were using them. And I was actually in a clinic where when somebody was turning off a light, they inadvertently turned off the solar, and we realized, that's going to be a problem if you don't separate those. So each of these iterations, I mean, it actually took years of field work, seeing what worked and what didn't, what broke and what didn't. And I know that you, Brent, were trying to pick out parts that would be really robust.
Yeah, trying to find things that would be less affected by dust and water and even literally bugs. Which we started to see failures in like the Philippines, remember there was a unit the bugs had gotten in the
Yeah,
switches,
and that
it
was
a
part of the
mess.
case. That's why we actually put
Oh,
things
right.
inside a case. We didn't used to have that, and I went back and saw that, the nice warmth of the equipment was the perfect place for bringing both rodents and insects, and so the idea of the case was to keep the equipment protected. Anything else? This is now what? Closest to our V3?
This is close to
Yep.
V3 with
Yep.
dimmable lights. I pushed the wrong button though. There we go. And
got-
it's designed so it's cooling your hands, so an assistant can hold it without getting their hands burned. And how long would you say these last, Brent?
The lights,
Yeah.
they'll be good for many years. Many years.
He likes to underpromise. He meant to say 20 years.
No, he didn't.
And then you used to do this, Hal, you would just like smack them when we were doing demonstrations.
To
But
your horror, yeah.
this was something that looks very simple and easy, but do you remember we had an entire design session with a group of designers in San Francisco thinking about how do we even mount lights? What are the different ways we use lights? Sometimes we stick them on the ceiling. Sometimes we have them hanging on an IV pole. Sometimes you want them low down to be looking at areas that might need attention, lower down in the body versus over the body. So this, and it had to be light enough and easy enough to fit inside a suitcase and not make the thing too heavy. So even something like this took a lot of thinking. And then you worked on this, which is for what?
That's called the
Yeah.
heat-sink, yeah.
Yeah, so not just to extend the life of the electronics. I mean, certainly the heatsink helps with that, but we really were concerned that the heat off of this unit, if it fell in next to into a crib with a baby, we don't want to have this get so hot that it would possibly burn the skin on the baby. And so really overbuilt everything so that it would run cool and just be super rugged.
Well, you guys, you did an amazing job designing these. As I love to say, we've now put solar suitcases in more than 11,000 health facilities in sub-Saharan Africa and Southeast Asia, serving more than 23 million mothers and newborns. And I think, I don't know, there's a lot of people who owe their lives and the health of their family to the work that you did. And I just want to share how grateful I am to have worked with you and to know that you've produced something that has literally changed and saved lives around the world.
Let's make a bunch more.
Yeah,
Okay.
and every suitcase is a journey.
That's true.
Like 11,000, but that's 11,000 journeys across roads that people would not recognize as roads to get there.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank everyone who's helped to support us on this journey. We clearly wouldn't be here without all of you. So thank you
Definitely.
very, very much. We're so grateful to have had the opportunity to serve people all around the world, to be touching lives, and we're really glad that you're on this journey with us. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.